Oh gosh, we don't want to. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna come right out with it. Happy birthday, Lisa. Happy birthday. That's
Thank you. I'm very
awesome.
excited. I made it another year.
Another trip around the sun. Well done. You nailed that. You nailed it. I'm just gonna let the confetti go all day.
And I'm going to
Um,
just let this song play in the background the whole day. Put it
okay.
on repeat.
Yeah. Tell me your song again. It's
So it is, I will pause it. It's the song called Perfect from the Trolls movie.
love it. Those
Yes.
are great. Those are great. Those movies are great. I just saw. Oh, you know what? I saw a movie I don't know if I mentioned this on the show. This was a few weeks ago. Well, Kath and I went to a movie 2 weeks in a row, and in the first week we went, she said, "Do you want to see Garfield or um or oh the other one where it's the word and what does it mean and it oh crap, I can't think of it. It was so good.
But
So
you do mean Garfield the cat movie was a
yeah,
choice?
Garfield the cat movie. Yeah, I do mean Garfield
Well,
the
you guys
cat,
are cat people. So it does actually make sense.
right? And what was the other one? The other one is the one about the Imaginary Friend movie. What
Oh,
remember
so which
what?
did you see?
Well, we chose Garfield, right? So first we went to see Garfield, and it was like it wasn't terrible, but it was Garfield, and then a week later, 2 weeks later, we went and saw the Imaginary Friend movie, and it was
Okay.
awesome.
I heard
Um,
good things about that.
So good. Yeah. So if you haven't seen that one, I think everybody should go out and see the Imaginary Friend movie. It really was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, oh, and it said, what does blah 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 stand for? And you're like, oh, that's such a cute idea, like a play on words with this word. And I can't think of what the word is now though.
Chuck, this is a terrible story.
Ugh, terrible. Well, it's your birthday. Listen, it's not about me, it's about you.
That's
Is this wrapping up the week of Avery? Is that what we're doing? Or is it
no, we're at the
continuing on?
midpoint.
Oh, the midpoint. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Because you've got another visit to your favorite
Yes. Well,
later this
Monday
week,
night
right?
I saw Justin Timberlake in Buffalo.
Wow.
So that was awesome. And then I have a college roommate coming into town on Friday, and we've got 9 of us going to see Hamilton on
Hmm.
Saturday. So
Oh
very
my.
excited for that.
Okay. Wow.
And yeah,
Okay.
so
That's
very
awesome.
excited.
Cool, cool, cool. So
Yes. Oh,
how
and my
does
son flies in tonight. One of my kids will be
oh
in
my
town.
God, that's
I'd
awesome.
like to think he's coming for my birthday, but he's not. He's in a wedding this weekend, but I don't care. I get to see him. And we'll go to
They
dinner tomorrow night
yeah,
to
any way
a
you can
great
get it.
restaurant.
Right.
Hmm?
You take it any way you can get it.
That's right.
Right? Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, right on.
Right. It's
So
all the way you look at the data.
let's just do more birthday. I'm just kidding. We like to talk about data. We're like I'm a little obsessed. Are you obsessive about this?
Yeah, because
I am.
to me, and we've talked about this before, right? Like I like spreadsheets. I like
Mhm.
analyzing things. I like looking at, okay, how do we take this data collection and turn it into something that makes sense? Right? You can throw a whole bunch of numbers on the screen, but what does it
Yeah.
mean if you can't put it in
So,
context?
and full disclosure, right now I'm playing hooky from my SRS designation class. It's on my other computer right next to me, and I turned my camera off, which you're not supposed to do when you're on a designation class. But hopefully I still get it. If I don't get it, then I'll have to just try again. Um, I don't think I'm gonna miss too much time though, because I think
No,
in 50, it's a 15-hour class. Aren't you allowed to miss a little bit
I
of time?
believe so.
So. But the instructor is Randy Templeman, and many of us who have done designation classes or just instruction, Randy's a great instructor, and he said something back in the beginning, which was really, really great, and talking about the change of the role of maybe not necessarily the role of the agent, but changes in real estate, and and Randy's been licensed since 1981, so he's we've seen a lot of change, and he said it used to be, and it used to be that the realtor, we were the information providers, right? But then,
Mhm.
But then, as I've said, the internet comes along and says, "Hey, I'll get in this party." And guess what?
Right.
The internet has democratized all the information. Everybody can go get it. It's accessible. He goes, so now we're the interpreters. Now our role has switched from the providers to the interpreters.
Right.
And I think that's a more important role. Um, it's not enough just to give the data, right? You have to be able to make decisions and drive behaviors and give people the right advice based on interpreting the data. So that was like one of those aha moments I wrote down in my book. Thank you, Randy. If anybody's thinking about doing a designation class and you have the chance to take one of Randy's classes, I'll give Randy a plug. He's a good instructor.
Yeah. And I agree with you,
I should say an
because
excellent instructor.
I agree with that and what you said that he said. Yeah, Randy's a great guy. So we look at interpreting the data, the information. Like a lot of times you might say, well, we're going to look at this data and we're going to tell sellers like, oh, well, the days on market is this, the average list price is their sale price, blah, blah, blah. But really, you also have to be able to think like a buyer and a buyer's agent, because now,
Yes.
and so we're going to dive in. We're talking about the numbers and like, how do you price? And I don't know where you want to start, but what I like to talk to people about is, okay, it's also a competition,
Mm-hmm.
right? If there's a buyer out there and they have 5 houses to choose from, not that that happens all the time anymore, but it does sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We want to win. We want to be the first choice house.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And so you need to position yourself to be in first place. Like it is a compelling house to make an offer on.
Okay.
And so
And
that plays into strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you want to win and you want to be careful because sometimes you win by losing. So
What do you mean?
what I mean is, my mentor used to always tell me, Chuck, the clients, they don't want to buy their house back. So, right. Like sometimes
Yes.
you're in a negotiation and you have to know when to let it go. You have to know when to let the other side win.
Yes.
The last thing you want is to buy that as your client.
Right.
Like, no, you're at this, you're good. You're moving on. This would be nicer. But if you go there, you might just be buying your house back. Like,
Right.
so.
Right. It's sometimes we say very harsh things. But we need to give the truth, right? And so if you have a house that's not selling, it's pretty much saying the only person who thinks the house is worth this price is you, the owner.
Yeah.
The buyers aren't agreeing
Right.
with your value.
And what's tricky here in Western New York is as a market goes, I think it's hard. We don't, I feel like we're one of the most affordable markets in the country, especially considering everything that our area has to offer. I'm driving into work this morning. We talk about living in New York and how beautiful it is. It truly, I think, is a beautiful state. Like I'm driving in and I cross over the Genesee River, and as I cross, that's the Genesee River is carved out quite a gorge, out of our area. And it's gorgeous right now. And it made me think of like out in your area, if you're up in the Niagara Parkway or something, how beautiful it is with the Niagara River, that area. Or if you're down in Letchworth, like right now, it's just peak season. I love this time of the year. So normally I drive in a certain way, but I remembered this. I go, oh, today I got to get off on a different street because there's these other streets that go over the Genesee River that have better views.
Right?
So
it's amazing. There are so many advantages to living here.
Absolutely.
I
love it.
But
we don't, and what I was getting at, and I've lost track for a second, but I just got back on the train. Compared to other parts of the country, like we don't, so much of the real estate news is national, and it's attention grabbing. It's clickbait. It's, it's always a disaster, right? It's always an emergency. It's always a blah, blah, blah. And we're, as an area, we're steady eddies. I say we go up a little bit, we go down a little bit, we go up, we go down, we go up, steady as she goes. And And we need to let our clients know that. We need to let them know, hey, come to us for the information. Yeah, that article you read about interest rates or about blah, blah, blahs or, inventory about to skyrocket. That might be true in some part of the country, but it's probably not exactly true here. Probably not. Right. So
Right.
let's look at let's show them what we got. So
Right. Back to that interpretation.
back to that
Okay.
interpretation and quickly. Well, and one of the things I did, so I'll tell you this, because we didn't really get a chance to talk this morning because I'm doing this other thing. But on your stats, is there a print? Can you print like if you pull up a stats page, is there a thing where you can click to print it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what you want to do is you want to click that little print icon, and then you want to change your printer to print to PDF, and then save it as a PDF. Then open the PDF and make it full screen, and then use your snipping tool to snip it as a photo, because then you could place it in a PowerPoint slide, and we could do a nice thing. So that's how I got mine to this.
Yes. Well, it's funny, like Chuck went through all that. And when I was trying to send him some stuff this morning, I had already printed out on an actual sheet of paper. So I just took my smartphone and took a picture of the sheet of paper and texted it. So that's another way you can convert to a JPEG, to a picture.
We're going to see that.
I mean, it doesn't come out as good. So obviously
it looks great. It's going to be great. It's absolutely going to be great. So, but look at this, like, and I think this kind of points to everybody saying, gosh, we need rates to go down. We need rates to go down. Well, this here shows exactly what happens when rates go down. Last year, this week ending, 215,000 was the average price. A year later, we're at 255,500. That's because there's more buyers because interest rates have gone down.
Yes.
Right. So, which is, the buyers always say, I need rates to go down, but the sellers, I mean, and it's just great for sellers. It's driving that price. So,
yes.
But
you can't chase rates fast enough in an increasing market. That's just, so we like to say stinking thinking.
Okay. Let me see what my next slide is here. Oh, this is a really good one. This is a way to show your clients just an overview, like a market review. Our average price point here was 260. Now that's flat. Our closed sales is down here by about 12%, 13%. So that's down. Why? Which is crazy, because we would tell sellers, look, pricing is up because interest rates are down a little bit. Like now is, the sellers are not taking advantage of this opportunity to get another 40, 50,000 for their property. So,
I will say, Chuck, in Erie County, like your stat a little bit, in Erie County for the month of September, they were closed sales were down 16.5%. Okay. But pending sales are up 8%.
Okay.
But year to date, closed sales are only down 1% and pendings are up 1%. So I think we're seeing a little bit of I don't know about you, but June was slow here. June got to be like, it feels like August. And so I think the June in our area and yours, we have 60-day closings. So in September, we're seeing things closed that were written 2 months prior, right? And by the time they're closed and reported, it can even add another week or two. So that's the other thing. When realtors are meeting with clients and they're looking at, closed sales in June, or in September, what does that mean? That means contracts that were written in July. That means buyers went out and were looking in June. So you're in a summer mindset for the buyer, interpreting data in the fall for the seller. And so that's where the knowledge, that 30 years of, or however many years of experience, when you have an instructor like Randy, it's like you see all the different markets, you learn the cycles. And then again, the year to date, looking at what's happening today and where those numbers came from. And then looking at, taking into effect the people who said, I'm just going to wait, right? And did those people pull out of the market for a few months and then get back in? So we'll see see
And
adjustments like
and we're
that.
talking about that's one of the things we're talking about right now is a lot of pent up buyer demand, buyers that backed out of the market because of the rates and now they're going to be jumping back in. So we
Yes.
expect to see a ton, like a lot more buyer activity. Um,
Yes.
so yeah,
And
absolutely. So go ahead.
and again, many times, sorry to keep interrupting, but we do get excited about this stuff because,
It's exciting.
yeah,
I know,
I
right?
was meeting with an agent yesterday who's one of the mentors in our office, and she was going to be going out on an appointment with a new agent. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, this is kind of a first appointment, and you're probably going to be doing like one fair housing disclosure and two agency disclosures because here I'm talking to you because you're going to be buying a house, and I'm going to be your buyer's agent when you're buying, and here's my buyer disclosure.
Mhm.
But you're also going to be selling your house. And so I'm going to be talking to you as a seller's agent, and here's my seller's disclosure.
Mhm.
And it's a complicated process for many
Okay.
people. For realtors, we do this every day, right? So we can work through what are your options. And everybody's got a different set of circumstances, right? In this particular case where we talk about, okay, you want to sell but you don't have somewhere to go, how do you make that all happen? Do you do a buy before you sell program? Do you, sell your house or go into apartment? These people, they have an RV. They're like, we can sell our house and live in our RV for a couple months and go non-contingent cash buyer somewhere else. So now you're in the sweet spot. You're selling, you're golden. Now you're going to vacation, take that camper wherever you want to go, sightsee for
Yeah.
a couple
Or
months
maybe
and
just
be a
buy an
cash
RV.
buyer.
You know how many people bought an RV during COVID and then a couple years later they had to sell the RV?
There, I just passed a billboard, Chuck. You can get a nice little camper for 15,000,
Oh
and
my God.
the ad was for tailgating, right? I was
That
like, oh, that's not bad, right?
Speaking
Like,
of tailgating, who went to the Bills game last Sunday? Me, baby. Yeah.
hey,
I took Owen
that
to
was
the
a good
game.
game.
That was great. Yep. It was awesome. Everything about it was the second half was awesome. The first half was, I was like, I can't believe we're only losing by 3 points. This has been terrible.
Right.
But they hung around and figured it out, and that was fun. I tried to
You
take
got
them
to
to it.
see Amari's first game.
I did. Yep. I saw. Yep. We did that, and it was a great experience. It's fun. We had nice
Good.
seats right under the Jim Kelly Club. Like we backed up to the window of the
Oh,
Jim Kelly
very
Club.
nice.
Yeah. Except the sun was hot. Oh,
You talk I mean,
the damn
one of the
sun.
things that I love, like,
Son of
watching the game on TV is
yeah.
every time we have a home game, I want the weather to be perfect, and you didn't see the commercials because obviously you were at the game,
Yeah.
but all the flyovers they showed Niagara Falls, it was
That
gorgeous.
was
They
gorgeous.
flew into the city, it was just beautiful, but I
Yeah.
have bad news for you, Chuck. Um, they took down our giant, Josh Allen billboard poster thing on the side of the Statler building. It's
What?
gone. Yeah.
Hmm.
Disappointing. I don't know
That
why
is
or how, but,
that is
um,
disappointing.
if you
That's
didn't get to Buffalo to see it,
mm-mm.
stinks.
That stinks.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
Well, let's go to the next slide because I want to get to your slides.
right,
Um,
right.
they're awesome. Market statistics. Again, this is a nice thing, if you want to share it with your clients, give them some stats. Similar, I love the little graphics that go with it, but it's just a
Yes.
real nice way to share some information with your clients, right? Again, and
Yes.
here's a keys, closings down 16%. Okay, but pricing's way up. So come on, sellers, like let's get that money. Let's take advantage of this market.
Yes.
And then,
Your
you
price
know,
per square foot is low, I must say. I was
yeah,
surprised to only see one or median 172.
hmm
Um,
yeah, I think it's just our area. It's our right,
yeah,
um,
but again, that's as a realtor, like, we notice
mhm,
different things than other people notice. Like, my eye is drawn to that.
mhm. Okay, very good. Um, this is something where you can look at closed sales over a long period of time. The date chart here is quarterly, and this goes back to like 2016, I think. So this is over a long period of time, and you can just show the cycle. The reason I shared this slide is because I like to show how this is a year, right? Every up and every down. This is a new year. This is a new year. This is a new year. Here we go. There's is a new year. Actually, I'm moving my mouse. I don't know if you can see.
We
Probably
can't see
not.
that.
You can't see that. So,
No.
but what I noticed instead of showing like one long line that's trending down,
Yes.
I wouldn't show it that way. I would say there's a flat line in the first four peaks. That's about one flat line. And then you go to a lower level, there's three peaks and they're all about the same. To me, that's another flat line. And then the last two peaks, I would put another flat line there. And so to me, like, you can just kind of see how we're not, real estate's not, it's not that volatile, right? Like residential, single family real
In
estate
Western New York.
in Western New York, right? It's not that volatile. When whatever's happening now, there's a good expectation that that's what's going to be happening for the next full cycle. And it's, even though it looks volatile because of the way these peaks go, this is very, very predictable. You've got almost the exact same pattern happening every single year. It's just the peak went down. I mean, in this middle section, the fifth, sixth, and seventh peak, to me, that's a period where the interest rates went up. And
Well,
so,
and that's also a factor because we're looking at units there, correct?
yep.
And it's the impact of the lack of inventory that we just don't have enough houses for the people
Correct.
who want them.
Right. And
And
now
the
we're
people
even
who have
lower,
extra
right?
houses they're not incentivized to sell
Right.
them
We're like
for
back
many
in like
reasons.
we're like back at levels of 1980, 1981 levels. The problem is, back in 81, as a country, we had 200 million people. And now as a country, we have like 330 million people.
Yeah.
So the number of transfers is the same, but our population has increased by 50 or 60%. So that's creating that supply and demand, um,
Yes.
emergency, I'm going to call it.
And the
So,
number of households.
oh, that's weird. Your slides, we lost. I wanted to put your slides on.
Oh, no.
I got
I
to
can
try to
read
add
them.
them. Well, I want to try to find them. I put them on the thing, and all right, I'm going to take this out, and maybe I can bring in the new version. Anyway, so yeah, I guess let's talk about it.
Well, and again, we looked at similar
Nope.
numbers. And again, we
It's a pretty,
use our two
that's a,
different boards.
that's a
Use two.
fail in production. We need to get Holly back helping us.
We so our two associations have two different tools to create data. Like yours makes better graphics, I think, than mine does. Mine's more charty.
Mhm.
But what I like to do when I look at it, like you had county information, right? So I'm going to pull
Yep.
up Erie County. And then when you're talking to a buyer or a seller, you can go to, all right, now let's look, if you're looking in the town of Hamburg, right? Let's look at the number of Hamburgs, right? Instead of, the whole county having, 834 new listings in September, Hamburg had 57. So it's a smaller pool of data. You can dive a little deeper. And then if I look at another town we have nearby, which is the town of Evans, that town only had 19 new listings in September of 24. Evans also is one of those towns where it's a geographically big town, and it's also very diverse. There's very affordable housing. There are small houses. And then we've got $2 million houses on Lake Erie. So Evans is going to be one where if you look at averages, right? Like we're going to say averages sometimes don't matter, right? Talk about good instructors. I had an instructor one time, and now I'm blanking on his name, who said, if your feet are in the freezer and your head is in the oven, on average, you're comfortable.
That's awesome.
So
if your feet are in the freezer and your head is in the oven, on average, you're comfortable. You're just right.
Your belly is just perfect.
Awesome. Oh my
Perfect.
God,
your hair is singed, but your belly is good. So averages, medians usually more helpful than an average, but that's what happens. You go to a website that doesn't interpret and you say, okay, I live in the town of Evans. The average sale price is 500,000 because you're averaging 2,100,000. That is not helpful to anyone.
No.
Okay.
No.
So yes.
No,
so when
absolutely.
we look at those numbers, that wonderful picture I took of the chart.
Which one? This one?
Yep. Down at the bottom, it's that same kind of thing. We're looking at that median sale price for single family. This program breaks it up it pulls out single family and then condo and townhouse separately because they are two different markets.
Yeah.
And on this one, you're looking at from like 2018 to 2024, January each year. So again, showing that. And again, like you said, Chuck, it gets more wiggly in 22, 23 because of the spikes in activity. Prior to that, and even before like 2018, 19, 20, that's when in our area, and I think you were similar, we would say we've had 20 years of appreciation in 3. If we
Yes.
had started here and
Right.
wanted to get to here in 20 years, we did it like this and then this.
Yeah.
Whereas
Hockey
if you
stick.
went like this, you would have gotten to the same point. That's
Yeah.
my economics degree at work here.
Very good.
So we had 20 years of appreciation in 3, and now we're mirroring places where you have 5, 6, 7, 10% appreciation every year. We went through years in Buffalo where we would say you need to hold your house 3 years to recoup enough to pay yourself back the expenses in buying.
Yeah.
You weren't going to get any appreciation to offset expenses in 3 years. We
Yeah.
don't have to say that anymore. You can
Yeah.
buy a
No,
house
it's great.
today, and in a year or 2, there will be enough appreciation to cover your expenses. And if you're able to do a little improvements, things like that, that factors in
And
as
I
well.
feel like the improvement side of things has really improved for owners. The opportunity to get improvements, to do, the do it yourself, the whole do it yourself business, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of driving why, new construction is lulled out a little bit, because people are able to take the house they've got and just keep working on it and make it more suitable for exactly what they need. So that
Yes.
has been awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the big things, and I know you mentioned it when we were chatting yesterday, and I want to make sure we bring it up again. When you look at that list price to sale price, when you're looking at what's selling in the neighborhood and what's
is it on
going
one of your
on.
slides? Which slide?
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
no
Okay.
slide.
No
Um,
slides. Okay.
this is just conversation.
Hmm, okay.
It's important to know what house is sold for, but it's also important to know, where did they start? Are
Oh,
these
yeah. Right.
houses
Yes.
selling, 20,000 over asking, 2,000
Hmm.
over asking? So the end number is important, but in our MLS, watching the hot sheet, right? Like, we all have hot sheets. The number of price reductions, there are 5 a day, which
Hmm.
it's like, okay, 5, but that's in a day where
That's a big
there
deal.
was no need for reduction.
Right.
When we see market time going from 12 days to 21 days on the market, now sellers, they should be asking you, what's your strategy?
Right. Yeah.
What are you
And I
going to
would say
do
we're not
besides
right. We're not
howardhanna.com and a sign in the yard?
let's not look at the closing price and say, well, that was our list price, right? I mean, we're not closing right
Right.
now. We're selling, we're marketing, we're enticing, we're
Mhm.
right. And to do that, a little bit lower brings in more. And then the more they get in an argument, there's a big brawl and somebody wins. And then whoever wins is the one that wins.
Yeah.
And they're usually the person who comes with the best terms, the best price, the best everything.
And you know what? You think about it, as realtors, professionals, we're in sales and we're in marketing, right?
Mm,
Anybody in this business who doesn't think you're in marketing, you're definitely in marketing. And
100%.
you think about, like, again, looking at a new listing in my office yesterday. Um, great property in a lovely manufactured home community, $80,000, right? Nice 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's great. The professional photos that our agent had done, this house looks amazing.
Yeah, I want to
And
buy it.
I know this particular agent, she hires a professional photographer on every listing.
Wow.
And it's just like, you need,
Hmm.
maybe 2 years ago you could say, well, I'm going to take one picture. I don't even need to do anything. You need to make your properties look good, and you need to make yourself look good, your professionalism look good.
Okay.
You know,
All
we
right.
hire professional sign installers, professional photographers, professional everything. You're a professional. Have a good
Yeah.
team.
Professional StreamYard live stream producers.
That's
Uh,
right.
I'm gonna try it. I don't know how professional this is, but I'm gonna see how long this goes for. I don't even know what this is gonna sound like, but we're gonna put it on here in a sec here.
What do you say? Are you playing us out? You have to get back to class.
I do have to get back to class. I don't want to get a letter. You missed too much time. You have to redo the designation next year.
Yeah.
So happy birthday to the week of Avery. We're midway through. If you get a chance, tell Lisa happy birthday. And we will look forward to seeing everybody next week. All right?
All right.
Cheers, everybody.